Are you ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
Party time. Oh wait, no, podcast time. Sorry,
yeah.
podcast time.
Podcast time.
All right. I think that was the maximum legal limit with that excellent rendition of that song. So any longer, and there would have been copyright issues. Still working on an intro, guys. Just I don't know, chime in your ideas, or if one of you does audio engineering and things, maybe help us out.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. Yeah, and maybe that'll be our thing. Like, maybe we'll annoy so many people that there'll be like all kinds of people sending us intros, and we'll just have our own like intros from different fans, and we'll cycle through them. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. I'm bothered by the facing of your microphone, but I'll ignore it.
Because the way this...
Because it's not facing you.
Fine. It's getting touched.
We want to hear you, Kat.
I'm pretty loud.
That's fair. All right. Today's episode is when everything goes right, but goes all wrong. So there's so many things in photography, videography, studios, marketing, any number of things that this title could refer to. So I had to clarify that my idea for this episode was very specifically when you have great models, great location, great ideas. You've had great planning sessions. You've had ideation sessions. Maybe you had a whiteboard or sketches. I mean, it sounds like everything is great, but you leave the shoot feeling like a failure. So, I know you weren't able to be on set for some of the movies that I've done BTS for, but one of the things that I really appreciated was the way that the movie sets I was on with Marcus McFadden, at the end of every day. Well, okay, there's two things. One, at the beginning of the day, the director would, like, it would start kind of officially. Like, the director would kind of announce what's happening and kind of give a little bit of direction. And it kind of set the tone of, hey, we're here to get some work done. And we've all been, thinking about it and preparing, and we're here, and now it's happening. And this day is, we're going to get a lot done. The goal is to get a lot done anyways. And at the end of the day, when he yells out, "That's a wrap. Great job, everyone." And people clap and they feel just excited and happy to have been part of making a movie. And that's everybody. That's not just the people in front of the camera. That's not just the director or the DP. That's everybody so happy. And everybody feels like they contributed because you have this closing note. And then I think that in our shoots and our movie making and anything that we've done, this is kind of how things go. A few people are late.
Yeah.
And then we realize that we left something.
Yep.
So now you have two things. One, you have an important member of the crew. I mean, everybody, all the crew is important. So you have somebody in the crew that is driving back to pick up a doodad. And you have hopefully the camera is usable without the doodad. So you have the camera and you want to record, but then one of the key people are not ready. So they're working on stuff. Maybe they're not even there yet. And you think, okay, well, at least I think, okay, I really want to give an opening note to the shoot. And I want to announce to everyone, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to get it done. and you guys are awesome, and we're awesome, and we're going to make something awesome together. But because we're missing
Key components.
key people, not just the components, but they're literally missing key people, then I think to myself, well, I'll do that
when they get here.
And when they get here, we're now so late that we're in a super rush. And I've switched from leader mode to technician mode of trying to dial in the equipment settings, answering questions for different people who are like, well, how can we do this light thing? And how can we do this? And how, we have to make a decision on the costuming. We have to make a decision on the makeup, and we have to make a decision on this. And we've got professionals who can do the things, but they don't want the responsibility
of making the executive decision.
Yeah. So now I can't even switch back into leader mode and pull everybody together because they're all like spread out at that point, and nobody's really paying attention to the group. And that's how it starts. And it would be like, well, okay, so you guys see the shoots on Instagram and things, and people get so excited, and they're like, wow, like you do great work and stuff, and I really appreciate that. So it must all work its way out, right? Well, kind of. Because by the end, it doesn't end ever because we want it to. And that makes it just makes me like, it makes my heart hurt that the reason why we end our shoots is most often because of a combination of things. One, we've already lost some people because they had to leave early to go to their job.
Right.
Can't fault them for that. They had to leave because they have a job. I get it.
Time, like studio space time or rental space time.
Yeah.
Like when we did Logandale, I didn't realize it was 6 that we had to leave. So it was 30 minutes of, oh crap, let's hurry, do the things quickly.
Yep. And at that point, we left because we ran out of time. Or especially for movie making days, those tend to be long, guys.
Really long.
Those are like 10 to 12 hours. And
doing the same thing in different angles.
Yeah.
Over.
And honestly, because we don't schedule breaks very well, my brain goes numb and I can't think anymore. And I'm just in like, I am Richard, the camera robot. Like I just can't concentrate. I can't multitask for sure. And I'm so tired that it takes 100% of my remaining energy just to focus on taking some good shots and things. And I can't give directions to people because I can barely talk at that point. I'm like literally just at an end.
Well, by then you're like, you're physically tired and, mentally exhausted as well. So it's hard to do all the things all at the same time, but be aware of all the things.
And that's, even if we do have a break, we don't always choose the best foods. Right? No,
we don't. We try to, and then it just doesn't get eaten.
It is funny because like pizza is actually really good for the middle of the shoot. Pizza is a combination of fast and slow energy sources. So I can eat pizza and I feel like it keeps me going for a long time. Whereas anything sugary is going to give me a quick spike of energy. And for sure, we have like fruit snacks and stuff like that sometimes. And it does give me like 10, 15 minutes of, yeah, like, let's do this. But then it's gone. And the problem with pizza, though, of course, is that it's so calorie dense that...
it's kind of heavy.
it's not good for losing weight.
No, not at all.
Yeah. It's hard to get enough of the right energy out of pizza to not gain weight, but to get enough to keep going through the rest of the shoot. The fruit snacks are really not good. Fruit snacks are really good. Candy, granola bars, things like that, which are all like junk. But those are good to have on hand, because when lunch is an hour away, that's pretty perfect. Just to eat something to keep you going till then. Not instead of a meal. You still need the break and you still need the meal.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to leave from Logandale at 6:00, and somebody gives me a fruit snack at 5:00, because they're like, hey, you're not, you just, you're looking down and we only have an hour to go. We have,
I'll give you a Snickers.
So yeah, food and stuff, all that is important. So we can have whole talks about maybe what we do to start off, all that stuff. We'll have a whole episode about it. But at the Blade shoot, we did all the things I said.
Mm-hmm. Had a meeting, had ideas, put it in a folder.
Yeah. We had a shared Dropbox. It was like everything was there. But we left because we ran out of time. We left because it was 6:00. I still had energy to go, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was getting late.
It was getting late. It was getting dark.
And it's a bit of a drive.
Yeah. And a little bit dangerous to drive there at night.
Oh, yeah, because there was a cliffside.
There was a cliffside. And also, something I'm very conscious about is that being in the desert after it gets dark could mean that you're going to be encountering rattlesnakes.
Coyotes.
I'm not worried about coyotes. Hey, if you have small animals, you should be worried about coyotes for sure. But I think that other than rabid coyotes or something, they're going to stay away from you. Coyotes are like small German shepherds, so by all means, you should be worried. You may think that they're small, and they kind of are small, but a German shepherd can mess you up. So for sure, like be worried, I guess, a little bit about coyotes, but you don't need to worry about them attacking you. It's just not going to happen. But you have small kids and you have small animals, like for sure. But I'm more worried about having somebody being bitten by a venomous snake, and we're somewhere where it's kind of dangerous to be driving at night anyways, because we don't have off-road vehicles, and we're far. So yeah, it's just something you have to be aware of around here. Now it's getting cold enough that probably everything's hibernating for the winter, whatever. But yeah, like then you don't want. Then it's cold. It's miserable because it's the desert. The desert gets cold at night, guys. But that day, we had never gone to the location together.
Nope. We had two people that have been there before.
But they couldn't adequately describe what was there. And so we didn't have a plan. And we just, and the makeup. The makeup took a long time.
Because we wanted special effects.
Yeah.
And special effects take a longer amount of time.
And so I think, the core of this is my answer. This is, okay, I just want to get it out there. So my answer, guys, if you don't keep listening, is that you need to micromanage your schedule. Not micromanage your friends and helpers and professionals. Don't do that. Don't tell people how to do their job. But tell people when they need to have their job done.
Yep. And if they're done, they're done.
And then imagine that. Imagine that you have a bullet point list and it says when everybody needs to have things done. And at least for us, my policy going forward is you have until that time to do your best effort, which means if you could do more to get an extra 10%, you're kind of out of luck. That's it. That was your window. And I think there's some people in our group that we'll talk more in the BTS. I don't want to say names, normal, and not I'm not gonna like badmouth them or anything, but I just think that there's people in the group that they don't want to stop trying to make it a little bit better. But meanwhile, it holds everybody up. And I really want them to experience a couple times of, hey, we're taking your person that you're working on. And they're going to be like, but they're not ready. They're ready for the photos. We will angle them so that we can't see whatever it is that's not perfect looking. And we'll get the photo or the video and we'll be done. And yeah, would it be perfect if everybody was just 100% done every single time? Yeah, it would be great. But it's not necessary because, every movie is a lie. It's a facade. It's a perspective of the camera, and that the audience can only see what the camera sees. So if somebody ripped their pants and you're on a timetable, then you say, we're going to shoot you from the waist up. No pants. What? But I can't possibly feel like the master vampire with no pants. Well, we're out of time, guys. Like, we're out of time. Like, the sun is going down. Like, let's, that didn't really happen. But
darn, I was going to ask you what movie this is, the pantless vampire.
In the BTS, I want to talk about the contacts situation.
Oh yeah,
that so was... if you're on our Patreon, make sure you check that out. Okay, so that's the thing. You have this micromanage schedule. It tells everybody exactly when they need their stuff done. Mm-hmm. And if you can work backwards from that, great. Otherwise, you tell people, hey, if you're not sure, show up early. Just show up early. That's fine. But you have to be done on time. And if you're not, then it's just whatever's good enough. That's fine. I'm not gonna be angry at anybody because it turned out that it took longer to do makeup or costuming or whatever. But
things happen.
And if it's not done enough, we cancel that part of it. If that means somebody can't be in that scene, mm-hmm. they can't be in it. But what I want at the end of a shoot is I want all of us, you people at home, photographers, models, I want everybody to look at the list. And I want you to see those check marks mm-hmm. next to them. And I want you to think, we're done. And we succeeded at completing the project. The level of amazing epicness.
And the feeling of accomplishment.
The level of amazing epicness is separate. The amount of, how good can you make it look at home, editing and all that kind of stuff, that is kind of separate from, were you successful at agreeing to what would get done and that it got done and on time. And if you're inherently done when you hit your time, and that's when you put the check mark, then you're going to feel successful. You're going to feel like, yeah, we got it done. Now, will somebody feel not successful because there's no check mark against
their list?
Against their one individual item? Yeah. But that one individual item is hopefully a learning lesson for that person. And just not to be too harsh about it, but if somebody continuously doesn't complete their portion or doesn't show up on time, then maybe they have to take a different role in your project. and somebody else has to take that place. Because the most amazing person ever, if they're always late, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter they're amazing. They're late all the time. So I want us all to have this list, and I want us to all feel excited, and I want us to be able to have this closing clapping moment. This amazing feeling when everybody looks at each other and they're like, hey guys, we're done. And even better if you're done early. When you have a list, you can literally be done early and everybody can get on home, and the video people and the photographer people, we can go back and start editing early. That's happened a couple times, and I've been amazed. I've been amazed when it's like, hey, we're done. And I get to take my stuff and put it in the computer and start seeing it. And maybe people who had time, because they're going to be here till 9 o'clock. So they stick around. They get to see themselves as I'm editing. I love that. That is just a fantastic moment that you don't get to have if you're working until exhaustion and until people just run out of ideas. And that's something that I think is the real bane of a lot of these things, is people showing up intentionally saving their ideas. They've been thinking about it the last couple weeks, and they're not chiming in the group chats where you're like, hey guys, send me your ideas. No, they're thinking about it. And to be fair to them, they're thinking about it, but they don't really know how to put it into words until they get on set in costume and everybody's there. And they're like, hey, I have everybody's attention. So now I'm going to formulate my idea and I'm going to get everybody to do it. Well, with my proposed alternative, what I'm proposing is they have this best great idea and everyone's like, yeah, this is a great idea. You say, okay, somebody write it down. And if we have time at the end of the shoot today, we'll do it. I guess if we're ahead of schedule, you could probably see in the gap, like, hey, we're ahead of schedule. Okay, great, we do the idea. And if not, you say, we'll schedule it another day. And they're like, yeah, but I don't want to drive out here again. Well, we'll schedule it another day. But I don't want to put makeup on again for this character. And we're going to schedule it another day, but that means we're not going to do it. Yep, that is actually what it means. It means we're not going to do it. But it's the best idea ever. It might be a really great idea. But we're going to feel like a failure to execute on your really great idea because we didn't leave room for your really great idea. We scheduled the shoot around the ideas that everybody contributed to the group chat. I don't work that way. Well, I need you to figure it out. That's what I'm saying. And that's not just models. That's me. I need to figure it out. That's the other directors. They need to figure it out. That's everybody. They all need to figure it out, because man, it wrecks things to have everybody chiming in their best great ideas, and they're good ideas. I'm not saying their ideas aren't good.
And plus, if you have 10, 12 people and they all have great ideas, then things will be all willy-nilly and we really won't be able to get anything done. Yeah. It's just hard. And the other aspect is, with that many people, we have an extra photographer, but the people that we need to take photos of, they have as well. So it's like a waiting game, or we forget what shot we had planned next and it doesn't happen. So then we get really sad.
Yeah. It's that sucked on the Blade shoot to constantly be like, okay, so next up is this shot. Where's Leiden? Oh,
Where's Celine?
Where's Celine? Oh, Eric took him. Okay, I guess we'll do this next photo. And then Leidner's or Courtney would come back and they'd be like, oh, I heard you wanted me for a shot. Yeah, but what am I going to do? I'm going to like move all the flash and everything back for that shot that we were supposed to do. No, let me I'm halfway to taking this shot. Let me finish this shot with these people. Okay. Oh, then they're gone again. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay. Now like the whole rest of the day was just constant trying to get the story-based shots done, and they didn't happen. It didn't go anywhere because it very quickly became, well, I guess we're just going to shoot with whoever's here at any given moment, and there's no way to tell a cohesive story that way. Mm-mm. And I definitely I like having a second shooter there. It's different. Making a movie is different because a movie you kind of know that you have a script and everybody knows you have a script, and so everything else is like BTS kind of stuff. What's harder is photography, where you're trying to get certain shots, and especially with multiple people, it's easy when it's just one person, and everybody does like, oh, here's basically glamour shots of one person. It's a lot harder to have 7 people and you're trying to get some solo shots of everybody that makes them look amazing, and then you're trying to get everybody with everybody else. Mm-hmm. That's the goal, is everybody with everybody else, not all at the same time, just like all the permutations. I want Lauren and Sean. I want Lauren and Byron. I want Lauren and Courtney. I want Courtney and Sean. I want, and you just kind of keep going down the list. I don't personally like more than 2 people in a shot.
Because it can get muddy.
Yeah, it's hard to make it look really good. And you have to zoom so far out and they look tiny. Yeah.
I was going to say the time is getting near.
Let's end the episode here. And if you want to continue the conversation, by all means, for following our Patreon, anyone at the $5 tier and up gets access to the behind the scenes podcast. They also get lots of photos and pretty photos and sexy photos and cool photos and behind the scenes videos and different things like that. But other than that,
thank you for supporting our podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't know, continue to follow us and you get to know our future shenanigans and projects that we get to do.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.